Prehistoric phase. Introduction. Indian ancient history is categorized into two categories. Two categories by the prehistorians, and these two categories are known as the prehistoric era and the historic era. The prehistoric is that period that does not have written record, that does not have written records of event, political society, economic activities, and hence whatever information or knowledge we have about the prehistory period is totally based only on the materials found on the archaeological excavations. While the prehistoric period encompasses the time for afterward, the prehistoric period is further divided into three ages: Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. इंट्रोडक्शन में क्या बता रहा है, बोला था कि इंडियन एंशियंट हिस्ट्री इज कैटेगराइज इनटू टू कैटेगरीज में हिस्टोरियंस के द्वारा कैटेगराइज किया गया है, एंड दिस टू कैटेगरीज आर नोन एज द प्री हिस्टोरिक एंड द हिस्टोरिक एरा. प्री हिस्टोरिक इज दैट पीरियड जिसमें कि कोई भी रिटर्न रिकॉर्ड्स नहीं हुआ करता था, ना ही इवेंट्स का, पॉलिटी, सोसाइटी, इकोनॉमी एक्टिविटीज़ का. एंड सो वट एवर इंफॉर्मेशन और द नॉलेज वी हैव अबाउट द प्री हिस्टोरिक पीरियड इज टोटली बेस्ड ऑन द मटेरियल जो कि उस समय पाए गए थे थ्रू द आर्कियोलॉजिकल excavations. While the historic period क्या कहता है, एनकम्पस करता है द टाइम आफ्टरवर्ड. द प्रीहिस्टोरिक पीरियड इज फर्दर, इसको फिर से डिवाइड किया जाता है थ्री एजेस में. एक स्टोन एज, ब्रॉन्ज एज, आयरन एज. स्टोन एज में क्या होता था, फर्स्ट एज ऑफ द ह्यूमन लाइफ था. स्टोन एज को फर्स्ट एज ऑफ द ह्यूमन लाइफ कहा जाता है इन द एरियंस ऑफ पीरियड एंड इज नोन एज स्टोन एज. The first stage of the human life is in Indian subcontinent is known as the Stone Age. The Stone Age is said to be started about Stone Age said कब start हुआ था? Stone Age is said to be started 2.6 million years ago and lasted until about 3300 BC. Stone Age कब start हुआ था? 2.6 million years ago and last किया था तब कब तक? 3300 million years ago तक. And when the Bronze Age began. स्टोन वाज द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट मटेरियल. क्या था? स्टोन था स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट मटेरियल जो कि यूज़ किया गया था बाय द मैनकाइंड का. स्टोन क्या था? स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट मटेरियल था, यूज़ किया गया था मैनकाइंड के द्वारा. ये क्या था? स्टोन क्या था? स्टोन वाज द मोस्ट एडवांस मटेरियल टेक्नोलॉजी उस समय का था. स्टोन क्या था? उस समय का मोस्ट एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी था. द नॉलेज ऑफ द मेटल क्या था? उस समय एब्सेंट था. नॉलेज ऑफ द मेटल क्या था? उस समय एब्सेंट था. एंड लाइफ इवॉल्व अराउंड द स्टोन टूल्स. लाइफ उस समय किसके अराउंड इवॉल्व करता था? स्टोन टूल्स के अराउंड. The Stone Age commenced with the arrival of the first man. The Stone Age commenced with the arrival of the first man on the Indian subcontinent. And as per the claim made by the researchers, human life evolved हुआ था in the Africa at first, and from there the men moved किया था कहाँ का different directions में. At that time the Peninsula India was quite क्या था? At that time Peninsula India was quite close to the African continent. At that time, the Peninsula India was quite closer to the African continent. By using the raft, man ने क्या swam किया across from Africa to Peninsula. By using raft, men swam across from Africa to Peninsula India, and from there they moved in different directions. वहाँ से क्या किया वो लोग different directions में फिर move कर गए. The earliest evidence of the Stone Age किसमें पाया गया था? वो कहाँ पाया गया था? बोरी लातूर डिस्ट्रिक्ट महाराष्ट्र में पाया गया. अर्लीस्ट एविडेंस ऑफ द स्टोन एज. इंडिया में जो स्टोन एज है उसका एविडेंस सबसे पहले कहाँ पाया गया था? बोरी लातूर डिस्ट्रिक्ट महाराष्ट्र में. और ये कल लगभग कितना था? 1.4 मिलियन ईयर्स अगो का था. ये लगभग कितने मिलियन ईयर्स अगो का था? 1.4 मिलियन ईयर्स अगो. दिस वाज द लास्ट फेज ऑफ द ग्रेट आइस एज. ये उस समय का लास्ट फेज था आइस एज का, नॉन एज द प्लेस्टोसीन पीरियड. द आइस एज स्टार्टेड मेल्टिंग. आइस क्या हुआ था? स्टार्ट हो गया था मेल्ट करना, एंड एज अ रिजल्ट द इवोल्यूशन ऑफ द ह्यूमन लाइफ कुड टेक प्लेस. इसके चलते हुआ क्या कि ह्यूमन लाइफ प्लस करना स्टार्ट हुआ. रॉक्स एंड केव पेंटिंग्स कहाँ मिला है? रॉक्स एंड केव पेंटिंग्स मिला है, दिख रहा है सिंघानापुर. इसको पढ़ते रहें तो हो गया. There are three phases in the Stone Age. Stone Age में भी 3 phases था. पैलेolithic, मेसोलिथिक एंड न्यूलिथिक। पैलेolithic एंड मेसोलिथिक न्यूलिथिक में क्या क्या होता था? पैलेolithic का टाइम लाइन था 2,50,000 बीसी से 10,000 बीसी तक। इस वक्त में पैलेolithic में लाइफ स्टाइल किस तरह का था? हंटर्स एंड फूड गैदरर्स का था। पैलेolithic में जो भी लोग उस समय लिविंग थे, लिविंग बीइंग, वे लोग हंटर्स और फूड गैदरर्स थे। टूल्स एंड वेपन्स उस समय क्या यूज होता था? हैंड एक्स यूज होता था, ब्लेड टूल्स एंड चॉपर्स यूज होता था। हैंड एक्स, ब्लेड टूल्स एंड चॉपर्स। पैलेolithic पैलेolithic लोगों के लिए सर्वाइवल का एक टेक्निक या तरीका था। मेसोलिथिक का टाइमलाइन क्या था? 10,000 बीसी से 6,000 बीसी मेसोलिथिक का टाइमलाइन था। इस वक्त तक भी मेसोलिथिक पीरियड आते तक में भी जो पीपल उस समय लिव करते थे वो हंटर्स और हर्डर्स थे। गैदरर को हटा के अब हर्डर्स हो गए। और टूल्स एंड वेपन्स उस समय यूज किया जाता था, माइक्रोलिथिक टूल्स। न्यूलिथिक न्यूलिथिक का टाइमलाइन क्या था? 6,000 से 4,000 बीसी एंड द लाइफ स्टाइल उस समय था फूड प्रोड्यूसर। इस समय आते तक में न्यूलिथिक आते तक में चेंजेस हुआ लाइफ स्टाइल में, एंड जो पीपल थे उस समय फूड प्रोड्यूसर हो गए। उस समय के जो टूल्स एंड वेपन्स थे वो पॉलिश्ड थे। Human life during the Paleolithic and the Mesolithic age of the stages was purely hunting and gathering society। यहाँ बता भी रहा है कि पीरियोलिथिक पीरियड में जो था प्योरली जो उस समय का जो सोसाइटी था मेसोलिथिक एजेस में, वो प्योरली हंटिंग एंड गैदरिंग सोसाइटी था। एंड ह्यूमन लाइफ स्टाइल उस समय का बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्रिमिटिव था। प्रिमिटिव मतलब आदिम। स्टार्टिंग में जो भी होता है उसको प्रिमिटिव ही कहा जाता है। बट ऑन द अदर हैंड ड्यूरिंग द न्यूलिथिक फेज, जबकि उसके उलट न्यूलिथिक पीरियड में क्या हुआ था? ह्यूमंस स्टार्टेड टू सेटल, वह सेटल करने लगे। एंड दिस सेटल करने लगे। दिस ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ द इंक्रीज एग्रीकल्चर प्रैक्टिसेस लाइक द कल्टीवेशन ऑफ द क्रॉप्स एंड एनिमल हस्बेंड्री। ये जो ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट हुआ, इसका मेन कारण था एग्रीकल्चरल टेक्निक, एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस एंड cultivation practices like the cultivation of the crops and animal husbandry। कल्टीवेशन ऑफ द क्रॉप्स स्टार्ट हुआ और एनिमल हस्बेंड्री साथ ही साथ। हर्डर्स तो वो लोग कब बन गया था? मेसोलिथिक पीरियड आते तक में ही हर्डर्स बन गया था। तो एनिमल हस्बेंड्री और भी ज़्यादा डेवलप हो गया न्यूलिथिक पीरियड में। Therefore, the Neolithic era is very significant in human history। Neolithic era क्या है? इसलिए very significant है in human history due to the wandering humans now starting to settle down। Due to the wandering humans now starting to settle down, humans life during the Paleolithic and Mesolithic age or the stages was purely a hunting gathering society, and the human's life was very primitive. But on the other hand, during the Neolithic phase, the humans started to settle, and this human settlement happened because of the increased agricultural practices like the cultivation of the crops and animal husbandry। Therefore, the Neolithic era is very significant in human history due to the wandering humans। Wandering humans क्या करने लगा? वही wandering humans now started to settle down। Later on, the Stone Age was replaced by the Chalcolithic. Later on, the Stone Age was replaced by the Chalcolithic age, and this Chalcolithic age was first known as where the first time human civilization used metal. Later on, the Stone Age was replaced by the Chalcolithic age. This Chalcolithic age was the first known as where first time human civilization used metal, and this age is called as copper age, and this age is called as copper age. Along with the Chalcolithic age, this period is also referred. Along with the Chalcolithic age, this period is also referred to. As the transition period because this period is also referred to as the transition period because widespread use of the tools made from the stone was carried out along with the use of the copper metallurgy. Later on, the Stone Age was replaced by the Chalcolithic. This Chalcolithic age was the first known age of the age where the first time civilization used human civilization used metal. And age is also called as the Copper Age. Along with the Chalcolithic age, this period is also known as the this period is also referred to as the transition period, and because the widespread use of the tools made from the stone was carried out along with the use of the copper metallurgy. Human life during the Paleolithic and Mesolithic ages or stages was purely hunting gathering society, and the human lifestyle was very primitive. But on the other hand, Neolithic phases humans started to on the other hand, Neolithic phases humans started to settle. This human settlement happened because of the increased agricultural practices like the cultivation of the crops and animal husbandry, and therefore the Neolithic era is very significant in human history due to the warming humans starting to settle down. Later on, was replaced by the Stone Age was replaced by the Chalcolithic Age, and the Chalcolithic Age was the first known age where first time human civilization used metal, where first time human civilization used metal, and this age is also called as Copper Age. Along with the Chalcolithic Age, this period is also known along with the Chalcolithic Age. लाइव स्ट्रीम चल रहा है, तुम लोग भी आ जाओ. Along with the Chalcolithic age, this period is also referred to as the transition period because widespread use of the tools made from the stone was carried out along with the use of the copper metallurgy. Therefore, after the Chalcolithic age, Iron Age appeared during the Iron Age period. After the Chalcolithic age, the Iron Age appeared, and during the Iron Age period, more focus was given to the development. More focus was given to the development and use of the iron metals. After the Chalcolithic period, the Iron Age appeared, and during the Iron Age period, more focus was given to the development and use of the iron metals. And this phase of the human civilization is also very significant because iron metallurgical techniques were used. And this phase in human civilization is also very significant because the iron metallurgical techniques were used. Paleolithic, and it is said that the Paleolithic period was started when human first time. It is said that Paleolithic period was started when the humans first time learned to make tools. When humans first time learned to make tools, and the earliest known. हेलो. अरे यहाँ पर अनिशा, इसको ले जाइए छत से. हाँ हाँ. ए, जा, तुमको जा, दीदी बुला रही है, तुमको बुला रही है. और मेरा लाइव स्ट्रीम चल रहा है, रखिए, बाद में हम चैनल दे देंगे. हाँ जाइए ना, जा रही है. ठीक है, ठीक. Human first started मेरे मुंह में रह गया. It is said that the Paleolithic period was settled. It is said that Paleolithic period was started when humans first time learned to make tools. ये कहा जाता है कि Paleolithic period स्टार्ट हुआ था जब ह्यूमन फर्स्ट टाइम मतलब कि सीख गया टूल्स बनाना. The earliest known great achievement made by the human civilization learning the first hatchet, spear, and burn. The learn to make tools, and the earliest known is great achievement made by the earliest known great achievement made by the human civilization learning the first hatchet बोला था कि hatchet बोला था, spear and burn. Historian and the India's Stone Age or Paleolithic culture were developed in the development in the Pleistocene period of the Ice Age. And this period was also the geologically important period in the Earth's history when the Earth was fully covered by the ice, and the weather was so cold that human or plant life could not survive. Historians and India's early Stone Age or Paleolithic culture were developed in the Pleistocene period of the Ice Age, and this period was also the geologically important period in the Earth's history, and when the Earth was fully covered by ice, and whether the weather was so cold that human or plant life could not survive. Human life during the Paleolithic and the Mesolithic age of the stages was purely hunter-gathering society, and the human life style was very primitive. But on the other hand, during the Neolithic phase, humans started to settle, and this human settlement happened because of the increased agricultural practices like the cultivation of the crops and environment. Therefore, the Neolithic era is very significant in human history due to the wandering humans starting to settle down. Later on, the Stone Age was replaced by the Chalcolithic, and this Chalcolithic age was first known as where the first time humans civilized and used metal. And this age is also called as the Copper Age. Along with the Chalcolithic age, this period is also referred to as the Transition period because of the widespread use of the tools made from the stone and was carried out along with the use of the copper metallurgy. After the Chalcolithic age, the Iron Age appeared. During the Iron Age period, more focus was given to the development and use of the iron metals, and this phase in human civilization also very significant because iron metallurgical techniques were used. And Paleolithic age, it is said that the Paleolithic period was started first. Paleolithic period was started when the first humans when the first was started when the humans first used. Hello. अरे चाबी दे के भेज दीजिए ना. तो मेरा लाइव स्ट्रीम चल रहा है, रखिए. हाँ. Learn to make tools, and the earliest non-great achievement made by the human civilization is learning the first asset where and spare and burn. And the historians said that the areas of Stone Age or the Paleolithic culture were developed in the Pleistocene period of the Ice Age. This period was also the geologically important period in the Earth's history when the Earth was fully covered by the ice and the weather was so cold that humans or plant life could not survive. But in the tropical region where the ice melted, earlier species of the man could exist. But in the tropical region where the ice melted, the earliest species of the man could exist. Food gathering and hunting were the primary occupation of this people. And another important feature was paleolithic man plant to cover themselves in animal skin. Paleolithic human society was not having the knowledge of houses, poultry, and agriculture, but it was developed only in the later stage. This period they were the first when they came to know about the fire, Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, and Upper Paleolithic. The classification of the phases and subphases of the Stone Age is carried out on the basis. The classification of the phases and the subphases of the Stone Age is carried out on the basis of the changes in the pattern of the living on the basis of the changes in the pattern of living material culture and but tool technique, agriculture activities, etc. Lower or early Paleolithic age, 2 lakh 50,000 BC, so 1 lakh BC, hand axe and clever copper chopper and chopping. Middle Paleolithic, 1 lakh BC to 40,000 BC, flake implements. Lower Paleolithic is 40,000 BC to 10,000 BC, implements made of the blade and flake. The rivers Tapi, Godavari, Bhima, and Krishna have a number of the Paleolithic sites. The rivers Tapi, Godavari, Bhima, and Krishna have a number of the Paleolithic sites. In this lower Paleolithic, in this period, all the tools were made was extracting the flakes from the stone block or the core until they took the right size and shape. In this period, the people used tools like hand axe, choppers, and levers. Tools were rough and heavy. Born in the Maharashtra near Pune, is considered to be the earliest lower Paleolithic site in some of the other parts of the India. And like Husnagi in Karnataka, limestone was the main material. Paleolithic age. Paleolithic. It is said that the Paleolithic period was started when the humans first time learned to make tools. The earliest known great achievement made by the human civilization. Mm, the earliest known great achievement made by the human civilization is learning of the first hazard or spear being. First hazard and spear and burn. Only the earliest known great achievement. Earliest known great achievements made great achievement made by earliest known great achievement made by the human civilization. Learning of the first hazard is spear and burn. Made by the human civilization is learning of the first asset is fair and fun. The historian said that human India's the historian said that India's old stone age or the Paleolithic culture were developed in the Pleistocene period of the Ice Age. Well, Pleistocene period of the Ice Age. The historian said that India's old stone age. The historian said that India's oldest stone age or the Paleolithic culture were developed in the Pleistocene period of the Ice Age, and this period was also the this period was also the geologically important period in the history when the earth was fully covered by the ice and the weather was so cold that the human or the plant life could not survive. But in the tropical region where the ice melted, the earliest species of the man could exist. The food gathering and hunting were the primary occupation of this paper, and the another important feature was Paleolithic. But it was developed only in the later stage. And this period when they came to know about the life. But it was developed only in the later stage, and this period when they come to know about the fire and the Paleolithic divided into three phases: lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, and upper Paleolithic. Classification of the phases and subphases. The classification of the phases and subphases. The Paleolithic human society was not having the knowledge of the houses, pottery, and agriculture. Paleolithic human society was not having the knowledge of the houses, pottery, and agriculture, but it was developed only in the later stage and this period.